Welcome back to the Arden Yoga and Wellness Podcast. I'm your host, Kira Whitaker. In today's video, we're going to go over therapeutic yoga and what it looks like within my business. So what does it look like behind the scenes in Arden Yoga and Wellness? So head on over to today's video and I'll fill you in. Welcome back to the Arden Yoga and Wellness Podcast. I'm your host, Kira Whitaker. All right, you guys, in today's episode, we're going to go over yoga therapy, movement, functional movement, and what that looks like within Arden Yoga and Wellness as far as offering services and just, quite frankly, kind of what I do all day outside of the podcast. As I mentioned last week when we went over health and wellness coaching, I mentioned that the podcast is so fun and I love doing it. And the heart behind that is just a free offering for conversations around health and wellness that is easily accessible to people. However, that's a very, very small percentage of how I spend my time. The majority of my time is working with my clients and running the business outside of the podcast. So this week, we're going to talk about the other main thing that I do outside of health and wellness coaching within Arden Yoga and Wellness, which is yoga therapy. One of the main loves of my life. I love health coaching, but if you've heard my story and you can go back in earlier episodes of the podcast, I love yoga and yoga therapy so much, not just because I've spent over a decade doing it with thousands of clients and I've seen the power and the benefits and how well it works, but it's also one of the things that really brought me home to myself and in my brain and body and taught me and encouraged me how to live in one place, meaning brain and body at the same time. But it opened the door for really all of the other interests and learnings and experiences that I've had in the health and wellness space. It's really what got me started. And I have this, I guess, just loyalty to it because I'm just forever in its debt because it's been so helpful to me. So moving on, I won't sit here and just talk about my love affair with yoga the whole time, but I'm going to briefly just define yoga therapy. There's a lot of different definitions and ways it's described. I'm going to go off of a few definitions that are on the International Association for Yoga Therapists website. That's who I'm certified through. So I'm an internationally certified yoga therapist. And so this is my governing board when it comes to those credentials of mine. And so I'm just going to read a couple of things that they've given. And then we'll move into what it looks like within Arden Yoga and Wellness. Yoga therapy is derived from traditional yoga techniques and teachings and the Ayurvedic system of healthcare. It refers to the adaptation and application of yoga techniques and practices to help individuals facing health challenges at any level manage their condition, reduce symptoms, restore balance, increase vitality, and improve attitude. Yoga therapy adapts the practice of yoga to the needs of people with specific or persistent health problems not usually addressed in a group class. And again, you can go to their website and really dive into this because there's a lot of different definitions, and these definitions came from long-standing yoga therapists who have been an integral part of research and really bringing it more into mainstream and making it a, I guess, consistent and more frequent medical intervention and complementary therapy in Western medicine. So what yoga therapy and therapeutic yoga looks like as an offering within Arden Yoga and Wellness currently, which if you've been with me for any amount of time, so on the email list, that's the longest standing form of communication in my business, you know that there's been a lot of changes in the way that I do things over the years. And the reason for that is, one, I've had my business so long, but I've always made sure that my business is this organic, ever-changing life form that will always work in tandem with my personal life and my family. I want to always make sure that I honor that first. One, I want to live out everything I encourage everyone else to do, but that was just always my focus and my intention in being a business owner. So it's definitely changed a lot over the years. Right now, I have two different ways that I offer yoga, therapeutic yoga, for my yoga therapy clients. The first way, and again, this is not in any order, just like last week's podcast when I went over all of our different health coaching and health and wellness services. But the first way is our on-demand therapeutic yoga library. Now, this might be, I think this is probably one of the things that I have put the most effort into. The podcast, yes. The online health coaching courses. But this was something where I did hours and hours and hours and hours of planning, and then hours and hours and hours of yoga being filmed on my mat. And then we hired a professional videographer to do it. And it's just so well done. Truly, it's so well done. And we did all of these videos in a way that they would never age. We wanted them to stand the test of time, for clients to be able to do them 2 years ago or 10 years from now, and they would still hold their relevance. And I do have plans to add on to the library at the end of this year. But everything in this library is just so robust, and it's honestly things that I do with my private clients. So I wanted to give you the closest experience that I could to working with me one-on-one that's obviously not working with me one-on-one in person. So the yoga library, it's called Arden Online Yoga Therapy. And there's, I think, 10 different videos in there. Maybe more, maybe less. And it's evergreen. So it's self-paced. And once you purchase your video, you can purchase them individually, or you can purchase the entire library and you get it forever. So you own them. They're in your library. You can do them 1,000 times a day. You can do them once every 6 months. They're yours. So what we have in that library are the most frequent things that I've seen over the past decade in my studio of aches, complaints, concerns with clients. So what do people ask me about and for the most? So we have a video for breath work. So teaching you how to breathe, a more advanced version than that incorporates the senses. We have breathing and moving together. So we teach you how to move your body and breathe together. We have therapeutic yoga for neck and mobility issues. So tension and mobility issues in the neck. We have one for chest and shoulder mobility. That's something I see a lot with clients in my studio because everyone's on devices more. It just is. A standing seated practice, that is one of my favorites. I do it anytime I travel when I can't actually get down in the floor. I just don't have the equipment I need. I have a strengthening and stabilizing your core video. So that's really, really great for anybody that wants to strengthen their core and low back. I have my personal everyday go-to practice. So the series of movements that I do every single day, that's just my favorite moves and sequences to keep me mobile, to keep me feeling strong, and keep all of my aches, complaints, and concerns at bay. And then I have one for hip mobility. So a lot of lower body openers. And again, these are things I teach in person. This is true therapeutic yoga for mobility, which is what I specialize in. I specialize in stress reduction, stress resilience tools, breath work, mobility issues, and chronic pain with clients. And so that's what all of these videos are. And if I do say so myself, we did a real good job. The next option or service within the umbrella of therapeutic yoga with yours truly is my in-person yoga therapy. And This is the one that stays booked up. We get the most questions about this, but these clients, unlike health coaching, tend to stay with me for a long time because our bodies and our movement patterns and the maintenance that we need is something that's pretty ongoing. And my clients love to see me in person. I love to have eyes on people. I do offer it via Zoom, but I love being able to see people from all angles in my studio or in the space that I use as studio space. And I also just love the in-person interaction with my clients. I love being able to hug people when they walk in the door, and it's the best. But because of that, because I have clients that have been with me for 10 years, those spots don't open up as frequently. And that's another reason why I created the online therapeutic yoga library, is because it's needed. It works. It's something that I know well, but I'm only one person. And obviously there's so many hours in a day that I can teach one-on-ones. So that's the next best thing. And it's also something that a lot of my private clients will use just if they're traveling or they need to add in movement in between our sessions together. And all of my private clients get access to the therapeutic yoga library. So that one's pretty straightforward. It's been around for a long time, so I didn't feel the need to go as in depth with that one as I did health coaching. But I mean, yoga and therapeutic yoga have my heart forever. They just do. We'll offer it forever. It's never going away. I love it. So if you have any questions about it, you can always reach out via the website. It's in the show notes or on social media. And last but not least, the membership. We mentioned it in last week's episode, but the membership gives you access to the entire therapeutic yoga library, plus the health coaching course, the self-paced one, plus master classes that I have recorded that have workbooks with them that are only inside of the membership. And it's $39.99 a month. And it kind of gives you everything that you need. It gives you the behavior change, the health coaching, plus yoga, plus breath work, and those master classes that are really great. So with that, I'm going to wrap up. I will see you guys in next week's episode. And that's all I got. Bye.